Two cops among 7 suspects detained in relation to Ocher's killing. 2 members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force and 5 civilians have been taken into custody in connection with the fatal shooting of a man at Mother's fast food restaurant on Main Street in Ocher's on Saturday. Reporters were informed by a senior detective that the police constables and the civilians were picked up on Saturday as part of a major search for the suspect involved in the murder of 30-year-old Kajay Sims of Bart Street, Gale, St. Mary. Mr. Sims was gunned down inside the popular fast food restaurant during a brawl with a group of men. It was reported that at about 2 a.m. Saturday, Mr. Sims and friends of his went inside the Mother's restaurant outlet and were waiting in line to place their orders when an argument developed between him and another group of men. The altercation got physical, arising from which one of the men ran outside to a vehicle and returned with a firearm. He shot Mr. Sims. The bullet entered his chest. The gunman and his friends escaped in a white Toyota Axio motor car. The wounded man was transported to hospital where he died while undergoing treatment. Eyewitnesses reportedly captured the registration plate of the vehicle, and this assisted the cops in identifying the suspects. Cop shot as violent flares in Nville. There was heavy police presence in Nville Garden, St. Andrew, following a string of shooting incidents in this area Saturday, which left 2 persons dead and a policeman injured. It is understood that in the latest incident about 9 p.m., police were responding to the early shootings when they were attacked by gunmen. A shootout ensued and the cop was shot. The injured cop was taken to hospital where he was admitted in serious but stable condition. Preliminary reports are that 1 person was shot dead in the area around 4 p.m. The second shooting, which left the other person dead, is what is believed to have been a reprisal killing, occurred at 8 p.m. Following the intense violence, a 48-hour curfew has been imposed in sections of Nville in St. Andrew Central Division. The curfew began at 8 a.m. on Sunday, January 28, and will remain in effect until 8 a.m. Tuesday, January 30. It follows a string of shootings in the area which left people dead and policemen injured. The boundaries of the curfew are south along Nanny Boulevard from Mountain View Avenue, west along Statue Road from Nanny Boulevard, north along Statue Road from Mountain View Avenue, east along Mountain View Avenue from Nanny Boulevard to Statue Road. During the hours of the curfew, all persons within its boundaries are required to remain within their premises unless otherwise authorized by the ground commander. Senior Cop Jones in St. Anne. Deputy Superintendent of Police Delroy Johnson, who is attached to the Counter-Terrorism and Organized Crime Investigations Branch CTOC, yesterday afternoon drowned at a river in St. Anne. Johnson is also an attorney, was reportedly socializing with friends in the community, after which he went for a swim in the river but got into difficulties. He was pulled out of the water by a lifeguard who administered CPR but was unable to revive him. DSP Johnson was in charge of the Denhamtown Zone of Special Operation. St. Catherine man caught inside shop with a bag full of stolen items charged. A man who was reportedly caught with a bag of stolen items inside a shop he had broken into on Sunday, January 21st, has been arrested and charged. Charged with shop breaking and larceny is 25-year-old Kevin Coleman of Tangerine Circle in Linstead, St. Catherine. Reports from the Linstead police are that about 9:10 p.m., Coleman broke into a shop on King Street in Linstead by using a crowbar to remove a section of the roof of the building and pried open the burglar bar to gain entry. The police were alerted by a caretaker who heard strange sounds inside the building. When the police arrived, Coleman was found inside the shop with a knapsack bag containing several stolen items. The stolen properties and damage were done and valued at $250,000, the police stated. He was subsequently arrested and charged. He is scheduled to appear before the St. Catherine Parish Court on Tuesday, January 30. 60-year-old man perishes in Clarendon house fire. A man is dead and his cousin is left counting her losses after a fire destroyed their home in Howells Content, Yorktown, Clarendon, Sunday morning. The deceased has been identified as 60-year-old Franklin Graham. He was alone on one side of the 3-bedroom dwelling when the incident occurred. Maureen Gregory, who occupied the other side, said she woke up to a stumbling sound sometime after 5 a.m. So I got up to turn on the light to see what was happening, but there was no light. So I got a flashlight, and when I come to the veranda and I look, I see bare smoke. I go round to the back of this house and a purifier. I couldn't get to help him, she said with a look of disappointment. Gregory said although Graham had been sick from 2014, he was still able to help himself with everyday activities like shopping and cooking. I feel bad, it's bad. Sorry if you know what happened. It's not easy and I couldn't help him, she lamented. I lose everything, but him were gone more than everything else. It no easy at all. Since his mother died, I've been taking care of him. Now me lose clothes, furniture, everything, said the distraught woman. She said she has been living at the premises for 7 years. Any help I can get, I would appreciate it, cause I have nowhere to live now and I have nothing, appealed Gregory. The cause of the fire is yet to be determined. Journey to death's door. In an unprecedented public revelation, Opposition Senator Lambert Brown on Friday shared details of a medical scare that brought him to death's door last September and used his contribution to the state of the national debate in the upper house to talk about the shortcomings in Jamaica's healthcare system, in particular, a lack of beds. But for the intervention of his daughter and 2 of his colleagues, opposition senators, who shared his medical records with a doctor behind my back, Brown admitted that he may not be alive today. While he was not his usual firebrand self, the heavyset Brown, looking several pounds lighter, used approximately half of his roughly 40 minutes presentation to detail his frightening experience, which had the full attention of not just his member senators, but the parliamentary staff, and, safe to say, people listening or watching the proceedings on television via the internet. About 4 minutes into his speech, Brown told the presiding officer, Senator Tom Tavares Vinson, "Mr. President, allow me in this presentation to be a little personal." He began by sharing that on September 18, 2023, he underwent a major operation and was hospitalized for 2 weeks. Since then, I'm slowly recovering and hopefully one day I'll be back to my full strength, Brown said, adding that he owed more than a debt of gratitude to some people for the role they played in my presence here today. "I came pretty close to not seeing you guys at my funeral," Brown said pointedly, with the chamber going silent as he paused for effect before explaining what the misdiagnosis almost sent him to an early grave. The doctors missed the fact that my appendix had ruptured, and it had been so for more than a week, and the negative effect of that had begun to set in, Brown shared. In a telling demonstration that he had still not regained his strength, Brown leaned on the lectern of the intervals as he gave his uncategorically short presentation. His speech was punctuated with gratitude to the many individuals, among them his daughter and Senator Donna Scott Mosley and Sophia Fraser-Binns, whose timely intervention ensured he did not meet the Grim Reapers ahead of time. He thanked them for conspiring, he later said, for collaborating with his daughter behind my stubbornness to have Dr. James Jeff Lubbound, who is the husband of Senator Fraser-Binns, review my medical record after I was told I needed to be admitted to the hospital, but there was no bed available, he said. Not because I didn't have the money to pay for a bed, there was no bed available in the private hospitals, and the only place that could take me was the University Hospital of the West Indies, he shared. They took me in the Tuesday about 1 a.m., and they discharged me by 6 a.m. Wednesday. I thought I was fine. I went home, struggling, but home and happy. Brown explained to the reporters later that he had started feeling ill more than a week prior to being hospitalized, gripped by pain in his abdomen, diarrhea, vomiting, and weakness. In his address on Friday, the senator explained that while at home on Sunday, September 17, the day of the People's National Party annual conference, he got a call from Fraser-Binns' number. I said, "Are you at the conference already?" But the person on the phone said, "No, Lammy, this is not Sophia, this is Jeff, Fraser-Binns' husband." He said, "Lammy, I have looked at your records and you should not be at home. You need to be in the hospital now." Brown shared that Dr. Lombard told him that he had made arrangements for him to have a bed and he should go immediately to Andrews Memorial Hospital. "I'm alive today thanks to him and his intervention," Brown said, to applause from both sides of the chamber. He expressed thanks to Dr. Baker for facilitating the hospital admission. The senator showed some emotion when he talked about the lead surgeon who operated on him, Dr. Lucien Tomlinson. He said that after being admitted to Andrews Memorial Hospital on September 17, Dr. Tomlinson walked into his room on the 18th and asked him if he had got the news. I said, "What news?" And he said, "I just looked at your CT scan and you need immediate surgery." This was 5:30 p.m., a mere hour after the CT scan had been done. Dr. Tomlinson told me they are going in at 7:30. That's how urgent it is. But the team ran into problems as Dr. Tomlinson's deputy, an anesthesiologist, who was at dinner with his wife and her birthday. The deputy, however, cut the birthday celebration short and arrived at the hospital. He looked into my face and said, "You must be important while I leave my dinner and come here," Brown recalled. "I don't know that I could be important on the gurney, but I knew they are going in," Brown told his colleagues. A significant portion of his presentation was dedicated to just saying thanks to Dr. Tomlinson and his team, the management and staff at Andrews Memorial, and the nurses who treated me, the nurses who did some personal things that I couldn't do for myself. Brown also thanked the technical team, those who administered CT scans, ultrasound, and X-rays, the auxiliary staff, the porters, his physiotherapist, who is jokingly referred to as physiotherapist, Dr. Savannah Francis, for the tremendous work in restoring strength to muscles that had fallen. He expressed thanks to Senator colleagues for being there during his most difficult hours with prayers, visits, and kind words. The Minister of Finance, Dr. Nigel Clark, sent me a lovely bouquet. Government Senator Ronston Braham came and prayed with me. Government Senator Kevin Gale, who also in touch, as well as Matthew Samuda and others, he said. He used the opportunity to assure the public that despite the vigorous debates on the Senate floor, which some people may take personally, they are friends who get along with each other. He singled out leader of government business, Senator Kamina Johnson-Smith, with whom he has had a testy relationship over the years, stating, "Minister, I will not share with them our love letters." The comment elicited laughter, including from Johnson-Smith. Brown also thanked his family and friends who were there with him for every moment of his illness and his colleagues in the university and Alley Workers Union. He pledged to becoming a strong advocate for ending the practice of turning patients away from hospital because there is no bed. "I'm not blaming the government on one side or another. The reality is all of us have left our people short, not because resources aren't available, but our vision did not take into account the fact that every man and woman in this country who pays tax and their family shouldn't be turned away," he said. He noted that even during his illness, he had to reach out to Senator Samuda to intervene in assisting his niece, who had had a stroke and was at Savannah Lamar Hospital for 3 days on the tough bench because there were no beds available. He concluded by telling his colleagues, "I got my flowers while I could still smell them. I heard the glowing tributes while I was alive. My day will come to depart, but it has not yet come." Additionally, Brown hinted that he is near to the end of his political career, noting that this is likely to be my penultimate or, very well, my ultimate state of the national presentation. "I'm conscious that age and health had put me in the winter of my public service, so I am ready to move on whenever that time comes for me to move on," he said, but quickly advised that he does not want the news headline to see him as retired. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.